Previously, on Titan's grave, the ashes of Valkana. Our party escorted the beer baron back to Nestora for a modest fee.
Fine.
We'll do it.
Fine.
5 gold at a party.
After a brief run-in with Lemley's old nemesis, a toll was paid, with an unknown refund.
I'll just steal our toll.
Inside that lockbox is a piece of tape and a dead bird.
At the Baron's own brew corps, a modest fee was indeed paid. Our heroes indulged in some of the rare Grandma's Sweat Stout and drunkenly pranked the Baron's steward.
I taped the bird to her butt. And then we call her Bird Butt.
The time for laughter ends, however, when the party is forced to save the brewery from a siege of creatures not seen since the Chaos Wars.
Sleth steps in a bucket.
Victory assured,
The thing is, you guys kicked its ass.
Yeah, we did.
the celebration began anew.
Eons before Valkana heard her own name, she bore witness to beings not of this realm. These ancients planted the seeds of life on Valkana, and as that life grew and civilizations formed, the thirst for supremacy blossomed into war. Gifted with an unmatched intellect, the Saurian Empire built mighty war machines and claimed dominion on Valkana, until the heavens themselves fell upon them. Valkana was plunged into darkness and 1,000 years of war. In this crucible, great heroes were forged, and together they extinguished the flames of battle. A new civilization was built on the ruins of the old, a peaceful world of magic and science. But the forces of chaos are patient and not easily contained. Left to fester, ancient evils threaten to emerge and unleash mayhem upon the world. And so, to face them, new heroes must arise from the ashes of Valkana.
So after your party the following morning, the beer baron gives you all double doses of his miracle hangover cure-all. Also, in game terms, y'all leveled up. You're all up at level 3. Why don't you just let us know what you added to your characters?
I'm slightly more intelligent.
Yes.
I now have a blaster pistol focus, which allows me to shoot more accurately.
Yep.
And I have quick reflexes, which basically gives me an extra minor action because I don't have to ready my blaster.
Great.
I now have a focus in grenades.
Perfect.
Which means my potions, when I throw them, will be a lot more accurate.
Right.
I've got a bit more constitution, so my health is up a little.
Yep.
Also, my attack roll is higher on my potions.
Great.
And I am now a journeyman with alchemy, meaning I can make new kinds of potions.
That's fantastic.
Like a freeze bomb.
Cool.
Yep. Pretty
Sleth, are you able to do anything now?
Level 3 apparently doesn't mean much when you're Sleth. No, I chose
Did you gain some sort of bucket focus?
I actually chose to up my my dexterity by a point, which hopefully will help me avoid buckets in the future.
Good, okay.
I picked up a focus, Weather Arcana, which will help, it adds 2 to me casting lightning spells. And I became journeyman level in Weather so that
you got better at that.
Yeah, I get, instead of just the shock blast, I have actually a spell called Lightning Bolt.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt!
What do you have going on over there, Laura Bailey?
Well, I increased my communication so that I can lie better.
Yeah.
Right. Also,
Feel like
very
it's
much in line with your character. I
Yes.
love that.
And then I got a fighting focus for heavy blades so I can do more damage with the doctor.
Yep.
And I also went to journeyman level with my single weapon style of fighting, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Dr. Lobotomy has another degree.
So in
Yeah.
so we know what sort of happened practically in game terms. In narrative terms, the way that I see this, all of this happening is you guys have had a very intense few days, right? And some of the most intense days you've had in a very, very long time. Like, your ability to work together as a team has strengthened. And as those bonds have strengthened, it has allowed you to discover within yourselves some of these innate abilities that you already had. And this is all logical, and I really like it. And I love that your characters have progressed in that way.
And we got to see see Sleth naked, so.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You did get to see Sleth naked. That's
The only
first
guy
thing
in our group.
One of the first things that happens when he starts drinking is the clothes just off. Yeah. So it is the morning after your great big party, your 10 gold in a party. All right? And the Baron thanks you again, and he says, I wish you luck on your journey. I hope that you can uncover the mysteries of that orb that you've been carrying around.
Oh, yeah,
just
where
gonna
did we
say
find
that.
that orb?
He gave it to us.
You got that orb when you first met him.
And there's a
taking-
sage in Nestora we have to go visit to see what it
right,
is.
right.
Arkaya the Sage is who you're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and as you head off on the road away from Brucor, there is the Baron and Keggy, and
gonna miss
they're waving at you, and there's Bird Butt with her arms crossed, and looking at you, giving you the stink eye as you guys head on down the road. The trip to Nestora is uneventful. As you approach Nestora, you see the remnants of the ancient high-rises from one of the great Saurian cities of the Saurian Empire. If you look on the map, it's right on the coast where one of the main rivers empties off into that large bay. The light gleams off of the broken windows in the towers that are largely abandoned now. And as you come across a rise in the road, you see that Nestora is actually much more than these buildings. And this is a sprawling city that has been built on the ruins of this ancient empire. As you come into the city, you find yourselves at a large, glowing map.
This is extremely convenient.
Like a mall directory?
Like a mall director. Yep, like a mall director, because you are now you're at the city's
Where is
edge.
the gap?
I would like you all to see
Oh, sweet.
what the city of Nestora looks like.
Yes, please.
Oh my god, this is cool.
What?
Oh. Okay, so this is where we saw the map.
This is
Yeah.
where you saw this map, actually.
This mall is huge.
The city shows that there are 12 boroughs in the city, and each is under the control of a different guild that reflects what happens in that particular section. So what would you like to do?
Fine.
Should we buy?
What's her name? Frederica.
Or do you want to buy some
Oh,
arrows?
yeah. Let's do that before we
Stuff
go.
like that?
Yeah. Is there
Some
a
shopping district.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Can we buy some
yeah.
pants?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So it shows you where it is. Jeremy hops up and touches his little hand to the thing, and he says, "Let your robot be your guide." And he-
Jeremy always speaks in one-liners.
Is there a little GPS now?
Yep.
Sweet. Onward to shopping.
Great. As you continue down these roads deeper into Nestora, along a lot of these buildings, there are these cracked screens and monitors. Many of them are blank and dead, but some of them still have electricity to them, and they show these faces, all of them human faces, and their words spelled out in subtitles below them, and they're sort of talking about the events of the day and the news of the city. Go ahead and make perception checks and let me know how you do.
Oh, would that be seeing?
Yes.
13.
14.
15.
14. I like it.
10.
13, 14, 15, 10. Do you see what you did wrong?
I didn't lie.
You lying.
No,
You're
19.
You notice that some people seem like, there's people walking down the street. But what you also notice is that there are these black domes that are up at about the beginning of the second floor. And every now and then, one of these domes is sort of cracked in it, and you can see like a camera up in these domes, and you realize that they're pretty much everywhere. Then on the outskirts of the market, you see a poster, and it has a benevolent human standing on it, smiling and looking over what is this stylized depiction of the town of Nestora. And it says, "The guilds watch out for you." And then spray painted through a stencil
Andre the Giant.
is the phrase,
As a posse.
is the phrase, "Vote with blasters."
I have one of those.
Yes.
Someone named Blasters.
There are people kind of along the street, and if any of you would like to engage any of these people in any kind of conversation, you would be able to do that
I
now.
would like to ask if the person that I talked to has heard of someone called Farkaya.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make a communications test.
Got some doubles. Got some doubles.
To 12 plus 3 stunt points if I can stunt
Yeah, you
communication.
can use your stunt point.
I do a jest. So I start with something sort of light, and then, you know, ha ha ha, well, they'll give us the vote when they, you know, lower the tax on blaster rounds. You know?
They'll give us the vote when they let us have their mothers for the evening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know, and another thing, have you heard of this? Have you heard of Farkaya?
Yeah. So when you make the joke, she kind of like looks around, right? And she leans in next to you, and she says, "We don't need to lower the taxes on blasters. We need to support the autonomous front." And then she leans back and says, "Ah, Farkaya the Antiquarian."
Yes.
Antiquarian.
Antiquarian.
Sometimes her accent comes out and it embarrasses her. and she says, "Yes, she's in the Central Marketplace."
Oh, how perfect.
Whoa, that was
And,
convenient.
and would anyone else like to do any
Yeah, I asked her
conversation?
where I would buy some new paints.
In the market, I guess.
Sounds like a plan.
Would you like to do anything?
I'm just sort of leaning up against the bridge, pretending like I'm just staring at nothing, but in fact I'm looking through Jeremy's eyes, who's going to do a perception test.
Yeah, terrific. Go ahead.
He's gone a little bit ahead into the market.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh my
You just
goodness.
need to roll on that thing all the time.
What did he get?
Double sixes and a 5.
Okay.
So Jeremy sees all.
Looking through Jeremy's eyes, you see that he passes a group of people, and the one human says, "They're so corrupt." And the other one says, "You know, it used to be the guilds worked for us, but now they only work for themselves." And he says, "I'm with the Autonomous Front." And he sees a Gilder caravan proceeding down the street perpendicular to where he is standing. And as these come down, Jeremy's head turns quickly, and as his vision is bobbing and he's running back toward where he was, there is like a thud and an explosion, and then a single gunshot rings out. And Jeremy communicates with you, "Little help."
What happened?
Jeremy was scouting ahead. There's been some kind of explosion and event, and he needs our help. And I'm just running forward.
I guess we're putting shopping to the side.
Sorry,
You have to
Jeremy.
wait on those pants.
Yeah.
Man.
Are you following her?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So what you see is this caravan is completely engulfed in flame. There are 2 trucks on fire that are just pouring black smoke up into the air. And you see a 3rd truck, and its driver is hunched over the steering wheel, and it sort of like begins to smolder. And that is the scene in front of you. So what would you like to do?
Can we see, are there a lot of people watching, or is this
There's there's about a dozen people kind of around. Most of them are injured in, to various degrees.
Who has strength?
Should go up and
See if
try to yank the door open?
Or you could just
Okay.
ask somebody if there's a good place to get some pants.
Or that.
Make a strength test, please.
This guy's fucked.
No, 17. 9, 10.
You are pulling on that door and pulling on that door. What are your strength focuses?
Climbing. Can I climb on top of the van and punch through the ceiling?
You can certainly try that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, for sure. What does that make your roll? If you add that,
That would make it 12.
So you punch down at the window, the front window, and it spiders and cracks, but it doesn't quite break.
Can I use my leg?
easy.
Sure. Yeah. You make another test.
That one was better.
Yeah, well,
11, 12, 13, 14.
That shatters the window. Completely shatters the window. So you get him out of the thing. This guy is hurt. He's bleeding from his forehead.
Let's drag him away from the vehicle. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Can we drag him away?
Yeah. So you get him away.
I want to ask this guy what happened.
All right. Make a communications test.
10, 12.
He opens his eyes, and you see that he has these really clear, like icy blue eyes, and he opens his mouth to speak, and his teeth are stained red with blood, and as he begins to talk, black arterial blood sputters up out of his mouth, and he coughs once heavily, and then his entire body falls.
We killed
still.
him?
Well,
Let him die?
We let him die. We didn't kill him.
Didn't succeeded saving him.
Is he human?
Yes, he's human.
Not your dad.
Not my dad.
Yes.
Thank God.
You guys are around this dude, yeah? Make a perception test.
16.
Okay.
13, 14.
Okay. You see that he is in a uniform, and on that uniform is a patch that signifies that he is from the Artifacts Guild.
Can I take the patch?
Yeah.
Artifacts Guild. Well, that's who. We're going to be talking to
No,
the
we'll go
the
back.
antiquarian. She's got to be an artifact person. But he's dead. So.
So the truck bursts into flames. There is a middle-aged human man and an elderly dwarven woman pretty close to that truck.
No.
And sort of like trying to sort of pull themselves away. And you see that they are both bleeding fairly heavily onto the asphalt.
All right. Anki and I go after the dwarf.
Yeah, Jeremy stays behind.
I'll go and
You guys
pull the
go
guy
after.
over,
You guys
yeah.
go after the
Sheesh.
human.
Idiots.
Okay, so make an intelligence test.
Just her.
12? No, I didn't add anything. 11.
Okay, make an intelligence test.
18. Is evaluation part of this?
You don't notice anything. Nothing
Okay.
seems out of the ordinary to you.
This seems like evaluation. Yeah.
When you get to this person, you realize that if you move them before you stabilize them, they're likely going to die.
Oh no.
So next action.
I loot the body.
But it's not a body yet. Do we know if it's possible to stabilize them?
Yeah, it is possible, but you
Okay.
better hurry.
Can I
I'm gonna
attempt to
let you do that. You're
stabilize?
smarter than me.
Yes.
I'm gonna step
Start
up and step
tourniqueting
away.
shit.
Yes.
What is this?
This is going to be an intelligence healing test.
Can I bust through the canvas and like see what's in the back of it before it sets
While
on
I'm
fire?
stabilizing the.
Yeah, Anki is kind of feeling like I've seen a lot of people die,
Yeah.
and that happens to people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see if I can find anything cool in these trucks.
All right, we'll get
They're
to that in
about
just
to
a second. What did you roll in your
An
intelligence
11.
test? Yeah, you're beginning to stabilize her.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. 9, 11, 14.
You successfully stabilize
Nice job.
the person that you are with. You hear the sound of sirens.
Those sirens are probably gonna take care of these dying people, and we don't want to be caught near the guild exploding. I don't want to be arrested for this crap that we didn't do.
It's probably a really good point.
We are strangers in town.
We still got a dwarf to stabilize.
He's gonna be stabilized.
She-
I start to run. I'm used to living on the streets. I don't want to be around with the sirens, so I go hide in
I
alleys.
follow
Okay.
Lemley.
They
That
run
way.
past you. Make a decision. What are you going
We
to
still
do?
have to pull them away from the exploding truck.
I say we pull them away and then run in the direction that they
Yes.
were running.
Okay. So you.
I've got a dwarf.
You manage to pull your guy
It's a small
away,
person.
and as you pull your dwarf lady away,
This is where I'm gonna get screwed for doing the right thing.
you pull her away and roll d6, please.
I bet the thing exploded.
Are you?
It's a 6. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
As you are pulling her away,
It's a thing.
she reaches up with her dwarven hands and she grabs onto you and she locks her eyes with you. And in the dwarven tongue, she says, "Hold me together, keep me as I enter the stone. To the earth I return." And then she lets go of you and dies.
I don't speak Dwarven.
Then you don't know what she said.
Oh
She said to you, she basically spoke.
You spoke Dwarven, that would have been
spoke,
so cool.
She spoke some Dwarven words to you and then went away.
I bet it was super
right.
meaningful though for you.
Okay.
It's probably even more meaningful not understanding her.
Yeah, right?
Someone
Yeah.
look at
Now
you
you
like
can
that.
make
Say
it into
another
whatever
language?
you wanted.
That's really
So what
sad.
what you heard was Alaktong Cha Akte Wakho.
And then she dies.
And then she dies. You guys are at the edge of the marketplace, and you hear over some loudspeakers, "Disperse! Disperse now! Your faces and actions have been recorded. If you stay, we will consider you suspects and interlopers in a crime scene."
Forgot about the cameras, you guys.
Right. Yeah, when you jumped up on that,
Probably not.
you were just seeing if there were any other
Any more
injured people in
people.
there.
Right.
As you are running away, and you are running toward the marketplace, I would like you to make a dexterity test.
13 plus 5 stunt points.
So you're looking back as you run away, and you look up as you barrel into this cart loaded with cabbages, and you crash through it, and you hear the merchant go, "Oh, my cabbages!"
Cabbages! Sorry.
As you hit the edge of the marketplace, you notice something really interesting. No one seems to care that 2 blocks away there was an explosion and the sounds of gunfire and then these loudspeaker announcements. Some people walk by you, sort of shaking their heads, and you hear someone go, "It's another attack," and you hear, "That doesn't help anything." You're at the edge of the marketplace, so would you like to go shopping? Would you like to go find Farkaya?
Shopping first, I
like
think.
Shopping first, because I have a feeling
Would
once
you like
we
to
find
buy some
Farkaya,
discount cabbages?
I actually want to look, without asking anybody for it, if I can find like the shop that would sell like relics or antiques or whatever.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that shop does exist, and it's easy for you to find.
Cool.
All right, where are you headed?
Why don't you go find a place that sells better dice?
I think you should do it.
or buckets. Is there a bucket salesman?
There is a bucket emporium.
A bucket emporium. I'm going to the bucket emporium.
Buckets from,
I think it sounds very dangerous
bucket,
for you to go to a place with so many buckets.
Sure, that could be
Seems very
potentially
unsafe.
lethal for me.
As you approach the bucket shop, the owner of the bucket emporium looks at you, shakes his head, and the door slams down.
Closed.
And it says closed in every language.
Nice.
And where are you going?
I want to find an armory, or would you buy bows, arrows at an armory?
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to find an armory and
Okay.
find more bows.
The shopkeep greets you with a smile and says, "And how can I help you today?"
How much do you sell your arrows for, kind sir?
And he says, "The prevailing market rate, of course, 5 bolts for 1 gold."
Ooh, fantastic. I will take... Do I have a limit on how many arrows I can carry?
Yeah, your quiver generally holds between 10 and 20.
Oh, I can't hold more than 20?
Well,
You might want to buy a bigger quiver.
you want to buy a bigger quiver?
Is that possible?
Sure.
How much do quivers go for?
He'll sell you a larger quiver that will hold a 10 additional arrows for a
Okay.
total of 30 arrows, and that will cost you 5 gold.
That is what I would like to do. I would like
Great.
1 quiver and 10 arrows, please.
Great.
I would also like to know if this lovely merchant would like to buy my old quiver from me.
Why don't you make a bargaining roll?
Why does it smell like dead bird?
What is what does bargaining fall under? Communication?
Communication, yeah.
Nice.
16, and I have a stunt if that matters.
Go ahead. How many stunt points?
Oh gosh, 4. Oh, I know what I would like to do.
So I'll tell you.
Hold on. I'm gonna flirt with this gentleman as well.
All right. He sort of blushes and he actually kind of giggles a little bit, and he says, "I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is not a very impressive bow, but it smells so strongly of dead bird." And he kind of like rubs it on himself.
Yeah.
And he goes, "This is all for me, all for me." And he gives you another 10 gold for it.
Whoa!
And he-
Creep,
and
tell
he-
you
and he
what,
takes it,
keeper
and
ever.
he takes it away, and he goes, I need my lunch break now.
Hey, wait a minute. One more thing. Throw in 1 more arrow.
I couldn't
Totally
possibly
good.
throw
Give
in
me
another
one more
arrow. I can't. No, I'm really.
It's not full if I don't have one more arrow.
He's Dennis Hopper all of a sudden.
One little old arrow.
And he sort of like
just
he walks in
passes
and right
out.
when you hear him go, "It's Daddy, head."
No arrow for
And
you.
I reach over the counter and I take one more arrow.
Oh, all right, sure. Okay.
That is not how flirting has worked for me in the past.
Well, maybe you should flirt better.
All I know is
Not a
that
tiny
all I know
little
is I will
elf.
close my eyes tonight when I go to sleep, and unfortunately, I will see that over and over again. And I will
Well, I
not
tell you what, I'm looking forward to the internet gif in that.
So, pawn shop. I'm gonna try
Yes.
to get rid of this grandma sweat.
So you go into the shop.
Okay.
And there's a dwarfy-looking dwarf sort of standing,
The man?
possibly on a stool, behind a countertop. And he says, "Good day."
Is it Keeliel's dad?
It's not.
Take 10 off.
Yeah.
Sure. I have some grandma sweat. It's a stout beer, and it is straight from the brewmaster's cart. It is worth 8,000 gold.
Make a communications test.
I also have bargaining.
You can add bargaining to it.
9, 10, 11.
All right.
I'm losing money on that grandma stout. Straight up. He rolled so well, you're screwed.
He rolled the best roll ever.
You're actually going to pay
bargaining.
him to give it to him.
He just can't believe that grandma's sweat exists, and he is floored that you actually have some of it.
People who haven't seen previous episodes, this is a beer. Clearly, that was not just a flagon of sweat.
He pulls out a stack of 3 20 gold coins, and he leans back and looks at you.
I said 8,000.
8,000 gold coins?
I'm just bargaining.
All right, make another bargaining roll.
Oh. This was probably not a good idea. 7, 8, 9.
9?
Yeah.
He looks at you and he goes, "'Tain't no such thing." And he pulls it all back. And he puts it back in the drawer. I take the deal. I take the deal. Closed for lunch.
But you got him to say taint, so.
It's okay, there are better
town.
places. There's
Next
better
town.
places.
Here, let me help you turn over this extremely heavy table.
Dang it. Bailey.
So
looking
I'm
for-
heading to the artifact place, but
Great.
I know that one-eyed dwarf has probably spread my name around, so I want to put a hood over my head
Okay.
to try to hide my hair, because I figure that's my most.
Okay, sure.
I say, so you specialize in antiques, huh?
I do.
Feast your eyes on this. And I pull out my locket, and I ask him if he's ever seen anything like it.
Let's find out. What do you know?
I know that locket that Emily brought in with the 3 on it, my parents wouldn't tell her what it said. They said that they didn't know, but I knew. And it actually means the people who have those lockets are descended from a very terrible branch of humans.
You've always looked at it as sort of like that, right?
Definitely.
I have an uncle
Exactly
with a
like
belt buckle
that.
that's almost...
So he holds it up and he
An
looks
exact
at it,
thing.
and then he does this. He puts a little monocle thing in, and he gets up real close to it, and he kind of scratches away at it.
What are you doing?
It's like he can't even hear you because he's so in it.
I try to peek over the counter and see what he's doing.
And he turns back and shows you this.
What is that? Seriously, what is that?
He gives it back to you, like this. And he leans back and he says, "No charge. No charge.
Are you gonna tell me what it is?
No charge."
Thanks, man. Nice shop. I leave. And then I look for some pants.
You go pants shopping?
I thought that was just a cover
No,
for
it
the
was.
whole.
It was a cover.
Okay.
I'm looking for a place where generally orcs go to hang out. As you know, it's like sort of almost like a race-specific kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
Silver Lake for
Nestora is an
hipsters.
incredibly
Right.
is an
Silver Lake for orcs.
is an incredibly cosmopolitan area.
Right, so I
So yeah,
figured-
you see a tavern. It's real small. It's sort of like it's down an alleyway, and there's a sign hanging over it that just in Orcish says "Getting drunk." And then there's a symbol in the center of it that you know is representative of an orc fist punching into the mouth of a saurian.
Okay. So I go there and I've got my hood up just a little bit. But I go inside and ask after my brother.
What's your brother's
I've got
name?
a photo. Clath is my brother.
So he answers you in a dialect that maybe you don't quite understand. So make a linguistics check.
Yeah, I did.
Sweet.
All right, so he's actually speaking to you in a dialect that you recognize now as the area where you grew up, right? And he says, "I'd love to help you, friend, but to be honest, we all kind of look alike."
Well, I say if he ever comes in, I'd like to leave him a message.
So as you're talking, he reaches out real quick and he pulls your hood down. And he leans back and he looks at you, and in this tongue he says, "You have scales."
Very, very observant. Yes, I'm
And never
only-
touch my hood again. I'm made of lightning.
You made a huge mistake. No, I say, well, I'm only half orc, and my brother's full-blooded orc, and I'm looking for him.
He looks at the picture and he holds it up. And he looks back at the picture and he says again, "Why do you have scales?"
Thanks for your help. I leave a one piece of gold, and I leave.
All right. You all rejoin one another at an appointed hour, perhaps after a lunch of savory meats or perhaps bugs or whatever it is you people like to
Definitely bugs.
eat. And you are in front of a shop. There is a sign hand-painted on the window that simply says, "Farkea the Knowing."
Oh, good.
It was Farkaya yesterday. but
Farkaya the Knowing.
We knock on the door.
Come.
No?
Okay. Walk in.
Enter.
This shop is a warren of lots of small rooms together. There are all sorts of things in this room, and there is something that catches each one of your eyes kind of specifically. And one of you is going to see something in this shop that you absolutely must buy, but absolutely do not need. Which one of you is it? Yeah, I thought it would be you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna buy? What is it?
Okay, so there's this beetle on one of the shelves, but
Yeah.
it's like gold colored, and it's got these like blue gems that look like they've been put into it, but for some reason it looks like the beetle's still moving, so I can't tell if it actually is alive or if it's like magically enchanted or something, but it's like amazing, and I definitely need it.
Okay. Yeah, so as you are looking at this beetle, out comes this very old woman. She has a lot of like silvery hair that's kind of gathered up into a bun on her head. And she says, "Oh, someone likes the beetle of Balinor."
Balinor? Yeah. You want to give it to me?
Is she Skeksis?
Yeah, right.
It is, as all things are, for sale.
Ooh, what about you? Are you for sale? Yeah.
Akia, behave. What does it do? Is it alive? Is it dead? Why is it moving?
What does it do? So many questions.
Yes.
Yes. So make a communications roll and let's see how you do.
13? I really need to get some more communication skills.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Guys, there's a place called Dragons and Donuts. We have to go there.
What? That's
I
next.
just noticed.
Ah, the beetle. Oh, of course, it provides the one who carries it with many unique abilities.
Speaking up.
Only one who is truly fit to carry the beetle would know what these abilities are. You look as one who could carry the beetle. Perhaps.
I'm holding it, so I think you are correct.
Why don't you make an offer for the beetle?
So like 5 gold would definitely be enough for this.
And a party.
All right, go ahead. Make a communications, bargaining roll, communication roll. We'll see how that works.
God. That went really poorly. 5, 6. Yes?
She reaches out and she takes the beetle out of your hand and she holds it and she goes,
Silly girl.
and then
We
she
have Grandma
says,
Sweat.
and then she says a couple
you
of
do
things.
not.
Then she says a couple of things to the beetle, and its wings open, and you see beneath its wings gorgeous, complicated gears and clockworks and a small bit of glowing magical energy, and the beetle buzzes off.
Dang it, I really wanted that beetle.
She looks at you and she says,
And how today may Farkaya be of assistance to you, travelers?
Farkaya, we came across this on our journeys, and we were wondering if you could tell us what it is.
We were recommended
Yeah.
to
Okay.
you.
The beer baron sent us.
Oh, Gerlach.
Yeah.
How is the old man?
He's
Well,
fantastic.
He gave us some Grandma Sweat if you had 60 gold. Which I just was recently offered by, that I chose not to give it to him because I thought, you know who would want this would be
she is so bored with
Farkaya.
you talking that she has walked away, and she sits down at this
Excuse my friend.
she sits down at this workbench, and there are these articulated metal arms hanging down, and she looks at it and she says, "Well,
Could be something. Could be nothing. It will take some time.
and she puts her hand on the table and then puts another hand up on her head, and you hear her sort of talking to herself and mumbling about things, and
I'm just rummaging through bins.
and she snaps her fingers at you, and she says, "You, outside."
Oh my God! She can't get a break.
And she continues to look, and I'd say about an hour passes.
I'm just
My
outside.
potions are ready.
Sweet.
Great.
Jeremy actually never left. And when I was rummaging through the bins, I saw something that I quite needed. And he tries to steal it.
What was that you quite needed?
It is a very, very small but powerful motor.
Roll for Jeremy and see if he is able to do that.
I don't even.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Jeremy stole that.
We stole that.
16, 17.
Oh, and it looks like he stunted as well.
He did for 2 points.
Yep. Jeremy got exactly the motor that you need.
Yeah.
is
Sorry,
missing, and-
Farkaya.
and in fact,
I would have bought it if you hadn't kicked me out of the store.
And in fact, the absence of that motor will not be noted for several weeks because he did such an excellent job of getting it out. All right.
Since you know a bunch of languages, right? Yeah, well, I was...
Should we talk about what this might mean?
Yeah, because I've shown this to the group before, so they kind of made it look like that 3 was not actually a 3.
I never looked at it on its side. You're right.
So what is-
that could be something different. And
what
this
is
is
this stuff?
definitely. This is definitely.
What language is it?
It looks like a mixture of Chinese and Hebrew.
Why don't you make a history research, whatever that is, test?
Yeah, I have all that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Historical lore and research.
Sweet!
Yeah. So 18.
What you know is this is ancient, and they are mathematical symbols for a type of equation that you've never seen before, and you can't make it. You recognize that there are mathematical symbols, but they don't really say anything together.
Okay.
So Farkaya calls you, Fakakta calls you back over, and she says, "Good news, everyone!"
I'm outside.
I love her even more now.
We'll tell you what happens.
Yeah.
Spectrographics and material analysis say this orb is hollow, but It is not empty. And I know how to open it. Now, to discuss my fee.
Oh, man.
Normally, my fee for opening something such as this would be 50 gold. But perhaps I could be convinced to open it for 30. And mayhap what's inside may be divided in a mutually acceptable way.
I'll give you 50. Just
What?
open it and we get all of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like,
I don't
what
like
use
to
is
share.
half a dead bird?
You can't tape half a dead bird to somebody.
All right, you give her 50
You're gonna
gold.
pay for it? You're paying 50 gold for this?
Well, how much gold do you have?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Wow, this is new
Okay.
information.
Watching you.
We found our sugar daddy.
Right?
There
You
are
paid
some
for it,
glyphs
man.
and sigils along the sides of this. And she begins to tap them in a particular order, and they begin to light up. And
It's like Simon.
and it is kind of like Simon. And as she does this, a section of the orb completely illuminates all the way around, and she puts her fingers on it and pulls it, and it turns back, and the orb now opens into two halves.
Such sights to show you.
As it settles down, you see that in the center of this are now 4 thin discs, 2 on either side, and she lifts the discs off and she claps her hands and she says,
4 glyphs, each very valuable and useful to one who can use it and wield it appropriately.
You
she
blew it the
points-
last time.
and she
We're gonna
points-
have somebody
and she
else
points at
try it.
one. She shows you one, and this is a glyph of insight. This is the glyph of life. This is the glyph of protection. And this is the glyph of the arcane.
Oh, you want that
I think you
Arcane.
probably get that one.
Because I'm old. Are you saying I'm old?
So she looks very, very wistfully at one of them.
Which one is she
And
looking
she says, well, I suppose
A deal is a deal.
at? Which one did you want?
I'm not gonna feel bad.
It is.
But there's only 4 of us.
Which-
There's 4 of them, and there's 4 of
We
us.
need them. I just want to find out how much she wanted to pay for it.
When the orb is awoken and its glyphs have been revealed, they cannot be purchased, only given freely. Else they would lose their inherent arcane power.
Oh, man.
That's quite
a
a magic.
bummer.
I
Can we
thought
take 'em?
everything was for sale, which you just literally said.
She laughs.
I
and-
was
and she said-
outside.
she sort of
couldn't even
chuckles-
say that.
She chuckles ruefully and she looks at you and she says, I thought I told you to leave.
You're actually peeking in the window.
And she says, yes, it is true. I could purchase it, but then it would be but a bauble. And I have many baubles. And she looks around the shop and she
You have one
says,
less.
well.
Those bobbleheads?
And she says, well, this is how I did end up with a shop full of junk.
No, I am
And
starting to feel a little sorry.
As
for
you
her.
leave,
David, little, our
She
little
didn't give
David
me that
Lopan
beetle. I
girl.
don't feel sorry for her.
so this is what you know, all right? The glyph of insight, whoever is wearing it is going to get a +3 bonus instead of +2 to perception,
Whoa.
okay?
Okay.
The character wearing the glyph of insight will also have the empathy focus. The glyph of life gives you a +5 bonus to your total health.
Whoa.
The glyph of protection gives you a +1 bonus to defense. The glyph of the arcane
All to him.
gives you a +5 bonus to your total magical points, but it is only usable by mages.
All right. Well, you obviously
So you can divide these glyphs as you wish. If
your
you
health
lose
now?
these for any reason,
38.
their attendant bonuses will also be lost.
Oh, no.
All right, everybody got it?
Yep.
You emerge from Fartea's shop.
I don't. I'm already out here.
You notice something rather curious. All of your faces are on monitors that are scattered around the marketplace. And as you look at this, you see, sort of scrolling down underneath, you see a list of things that sort of look like charges. For example, fleeing the sea of a crime is beneath the two. The two of you. You also see under your face, dwarficide.
Oh no, I didn't kill her.
Under yours, we see you grabbing the guild patch, and it says impersonation of authority. And then as these charges scroll by, it flashes across all of you, terrorist, 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 terrorist. You begin to notice a murmur arising through the crowd, and you hear a sort of familiar voice shouting out, "There they are! That's her!
That's the cabbage
That's
cart
the one!"
I know him.
And it's the cabbage cart guy. And he's pointing at you. And he's pointing straight at you. And then through the crowd.
Cabbages stink! And I take up running.
And then you turn to run and run straight into a one-eyed dwarf.
What are you doing here?
Who says, "You!"
We gave you beer.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of pigeons coming home to roost, I think.
Oh no.
We could have killed that dwarf.
We got the dead bird from that dwarf, which provided us with hours of merriment.
Don't say
okay?
that out loud. He doesn't know we took
The
his
dwarf,
I mean, we did not take the dead.
the dwarf reaches up to put his arms on you.
Realizes he's too short.
And he is wanged on the head, and he falls down. Standing behind him is a fellow who looks at you and says, "Come with me for
If you want
5
to
gold
live."
and a party."
He knows.
I like this guy.
The secret
we
words.
follow him.
Are you going to follow him?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean-
he knows our code.
Great. We'll find out where he leads you next time.
Oh. Please tell me it's the dragons and donuts.
Right.